Hello. It is just about time for me to look over the match of the Spiritomb Raiders versus the Take-Two Tyranitars. These two have just played each other, and I will see that match in a minute, but let's give some context. They played, this is another match where their last match was like final week of the season, so they just played each other. Super close game. Spiritomb Raiders fell 1-0 to the Take-Two Tyranitars, and that was a big match because if the Spiritomb Raiders won that match, they got the second seed, and they wouldn't have to be playing this week. And Take-Two Tyranitars also need that match just to make sure they even got into playoffs. This is a matchup that we have seen several times. Well, not you guys, but I have throughout multiple years. Spiritomb Raiders are at 3 with the wins, and the Take-Two Tyranitars are at 4 wins. Not only is the head-to-head close, every time these matches, I feel like they're close. I feel like every one of these matches are like 1-0s or like 2-0s from almost all of them, including last match. And the top mon for the Spiritomb Raiders is the Meletta. We have seen this mon take over games before, with setting up a calm mind behind a substitute and just hyper voicing everything down. And of course, for the Take-Two Tyranitars, it's the Excadrill with the 10-6 KD. We see this mon get several OKOs, get some flinches, just outspeed everything, putting on a lot of pressure early. So these mons, I expect both these mons to show up, and I expect both these mons to have something special coming up. And here we are with the match. This is, like I said earlier, the Take-Two Tyranitars versus the Spiritomb Raiders. First thing is I think I'm 99% sure these are the exact six mons that both of these trainers have brought last time they played each other. Maybe both these trainers are thinking that these are just the best 6 mons. Maybe it's mind games going for the no mix-up, or maybe they think that they can just play better with the tools what these mons have. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are, I could see some changes. I can maybe even see like the Golurk, instead of having Iron Fist, having something like No Guard, being able to Dynamic Punch, hit with fighting type damage even harder, or something like that. This is it's very when it's a run back that just happened. Like I said, it's always very awkward. I think there's some things to be ready for that they experienced last week. For example, the Alakazam. The Alakazam posed a very big problem for the Spiritomb Raiders, being naturally to be able to outspeed the low, the fast. You think of a really fast monster such as Lopunny, and being able to do super effective damage with the Psychic once the Lopunny is Mega Evolved. You have to find a way to be able to withstand its offensive pressure because it gets coverage like Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Shadow Ball. You have to be ready for that. You have to find a way to get that. Or it can even punish the greedy things, like it can Encore. This mon is really tough to deal with. But it is frail. If you can get some priority, do some good damage to it, like a Shadow Sneak, or you can reverse speed with Trick Room. That is a big way to deal with it. That mon caused a lot of problems last time. And thing with like the Golurk. Golurk was also posed to be a pretty big issue early on. Ground fighting and ghost coverage hit a lot of these mons for super effective, and that's what happened last time. In Trick Room, it was in Tailwind, the Golurk was able to KO Mesprit very quickly and just one-shot it. And like fighting coverage can hit the Stoutland and the Tyranitar. This mon put in a lot of value early game. It's interesting to see what adjustments that these trainers will make to these mons, with or against these mons. All right. I'm not going to talk about leads. I feel like I talked about that too much, and I talked about the mons that put in a lot of work last time that were interesting. So I think we're just going to head right into it. All right, so we have the another thing that I want to point out is that the Spiritomb Raiders have lost their last 3 games. So having the chance from even getting the 1 seed to dropping 4 straight and not even getting a playoff win would be like actually tragic. Let's see. We have the Savali, which is Savali Ground, which is the same Savali we did see last time, and I would also like to, actually, before I talk more about the turns, I would like to congratulate them. They both had a giant paper to become for like their graduate program on for becoming teachers, and they spent the entire week like crashing on getting that done. So shout out to them for getting that done, and shout out to them for topping through and playing this match. I'm kind of glad that these two played each other, because it would have felt a little dirty if like either me or the Go-Go Flower Rangers played these people when they spent the entire week like trying to, you know, finish college. So I'm glad this is happening. But you know, we see the Savali Meloetta versus the Tyranitar and Excadrill. The Savali ground, obviously being a ground type, is very, very beneficial here against the Tyranitar and the Excadrill. Thing about Savali is that it doesn't hit very hard. It has some pretty good bulk. It's like 95 across the board. So it can take hits pretty easily, but it may not be able to threaten Okos. It may not, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it can barely threaten to hit KO a Tyranitar. And Meloetta is definitely in an awkward spot here. It's more known for its special bulk and its special type damage, and special damage does not bode well against Sand or Tyranitar, and it's obviously weak to that physical high-powered Crunch. But we did see last time that the Meloetta had Relic Song to change its typing and stats to become a fighting type, and that definitely has its benefits, especially against, you know, having fighting coverage for Tyranitar and Excadrill and Stoutland's really good. But it did come back to backfire with the Alakazam and the Restorat, so it'll be very interesting to see what they do here. I think I'm going to let this turn play off instead of saying what I think should happen. Okay. Okay, wow, this was an insane turn. Okay, 3 of those 4 things, if you gave me money to guess what it was, and you gave me an hour to guess what 3 of those 4 actions were, I would have came back with no more money. Rain Dance, obviously very, very powerful against a team that's pretty reliant on Sand. It's and not only is it obviously good for the Tyranitar for the special defense boost and the Excadrill, and maybe even for the speed. We did see Stoutland with Intimidate last time instead of Sand Rush, so it may not benefit that. But just not having your monsters not take Sand Chip is also a pretty nice thing. The Tyranitar crunching the Meloetta, obviously, like, it's kind of like that's a pretty free looking click. It just like doesn't look like nothing too bad that can happen. But we do see the Cobalt Fairy coming in play, and we also see the Tailwind, making so that the Excadrill, which you would think is able to outspeed anything under any circumstance, not only doesn't have the Sand anymore, and now you're playing against double speed. We did see early Tailwinds last time, so I wouldn't be surprised if Take-Two Tyranitars have ways in the back of their head to deal with it. And Home Claws is an insane bring here. Home Claws obviously increases your attack, but also make things like Rock Slide make sure to not hit, and Horn Drill, which does have a chance to miss, to also connect. So this Excadrill is in a very scary spot, but it is under a lot of duress from the Savali ground. And a Meloetta that can, like, a double up like that can even like break Focus Sash or something like that. So this is really tough. The Tyranitar is also not in a good spot anymore. You would prefer the Tyranitar to be have a chance to get the Sand back up. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see a pivot from this mon early, and maybe like something like, it's so tough because like you want to, like, Excadrill wants, like, both these mons have just kind of a giant kick me sign to these ground type moves, and I think the Tyranitar is more likely to switch, but I also feel like the Excadrill is likely to protect. So like it's very tough here where like, and the Excadrill is so threatening that like it feels like you have to go after it, man. Plus, you know, that those moves are gonna hit hard, and that brings up the mind games of, oh, it's so important I have to double it so the Excadrill protects and the other slot can do whatever it wants. But now it would also go the other way where the Take-Two Tyranitar is like, oh, this mon is so valuable, I can't let it die, I have to protect it, and then you just double the other side. It's definitely rough here, but I can also just see a double protected stall talent. This is very awkward here. Okay, Yeah, and this is a pretty safe switch in turn here. The Mesprit, it's not a very bulky mon, but it is in a fairly decent spot. Not really offensively, but defensive wise. A combination of its levitate and its psychic typing makes it immune to ground. It makes it be able to take a potential psychic type moves. I didn't expect Meletta to go for any psychic type moves. It just wasn't a good spot to do it. But you're seeing a very offbeat Meletta set with Rain Dance and Light Screen. I don't expect Calm Mind anymore. I don't really expect Relic Song anymore. I just expect this to be a bulky mon. I may expect maybe even a Reflect. Surely there's a Reflect on this team on it as well, I would think, because of the fact that Reflect is just generally more useful against this team than Light Screen is. As you can see that the Take 2 Tyranitars only had 2 special attackers really, and the rest are physical attackers. And like Mesprit is like not even like a guaranteed brain. It's not that good of a mon, but like his core team is all about physical attackers. So we did just see the Excadrill protect here. I expect some offense to go against it. And since you have a problem with having the Mesprit out now is that you have no real switch-ins to ground type attacks. You have at best neutral. You can do like Garchomp is okay. Stoutland is okay. So this is a pretty good time to start doubling up this Excadrill. Again, Excadrill, not that bulky. Has a lot of HP, but its defenses aren't great, and the super effective ground type attack plus a potential what's it called? Hyper Voice from Meletta I would think would be able to take it out. And this Mesprit got coverage. I don't know what coverage we'll see. Maybe it's more supportive. I'm not really sure what this Mesprit is going to do here. We're going to switch back. Okay, that makes sense here. Try to get the speed back. And that it is Sash. Oh, Shadow Ball. Okay. And we do see the Rock Slide. And man, both these mons took that pretty well. For 1.5 times attack, that's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I would have preferred to see a Hyper Voice there. I felt like Sash was a pretty likely item there. In worst case scenario, Hyper Voice is stab and can hit both enemies, so it always guarantees does something. So I think the Shadow Ball was a little bit greedy there. I don't think Shadow Ball would have KO'd to begin with, so getting some chip on the Mesprit, even if that did happen, I think would have been a bit better here. It did cost you quite a decent amount of HP here. Now the Tailwind is what's it called, about to run out. You have one more turn left, so this may be like a turn where like the Take 2 Tyranitars may want to stall out the double protect. And you just click, and the best way to punish that is click Rain Dance again. Make sure the Excadrill does not outspeed you after the Rain Dance. I mean, after the Tailwind ends. And I think that's what you got. I think you got to try to punish a greedy play here. Especially, also, I just don't think the Meletta is like in that good of a spot offensively. So like, I don't think. I mean, being able to Hyper Voice the Excadrill or something like that would be nice, but I think this is a good time to try to punish a potential greedy play here. And I expect a double attack from the Tyranitar and the Excadrill. I think it's fairly safe here, at least on the surface. It would be a pretty credible call out to just go for another Rain Dance here. Just because if like the Excadrill tries to attack and like Excadrill doesn't protect and you like Rain Dance and like, oh, you can just kill the Excadrill with a Hyper Voice or something like that. It's definitely a tough call. Definitely got to have some balls for a play like that on both sides. Okay, the Excadrill, I did forget how speed worked in Gen 7. It's not dynamic, so it does take a turn after like a speed thing happens for that to take an effect. So that's my bad. So this looks like just like a Meletta sack. That's a shame. It did something. I don't think it did truthfully enough this game. You lost control of your you lost weather control for the rest of the game. The light screen is not nearly as good as Reflect against this team like this. You're not light play to increase the turns, and I do think the Hyper Voice was just overall a safer click there, and that's gonna cause the Savali the Mela to go down. Savali's now under potential fire, and now the Excadrill, despite it being 1%, is kind of just pesky to KO. You need some type of priority move, maybe Fake Out from Lopunny, but you don't want to bring that against the Mesprit because, you know, obviously you just get hit by a Psychic type move back. This is definitely awkward. If you have Shadow Sneak and Golurk, I think that's a pretty good bring here. Also not bad defensively here to begin as well. Yeah, and that's what we're going to see here. So we also may just be seeing Golurk just to try to do some type of Ghost type attack against the Mesprit to just try to get it off the field. It could also be Shadow Sneak. This is both are pretty valid things. Remember the Excadrill, the Mesprit has Light Screen. In the has Light Screen working against it, but the Excadrill has a 1.5 times attack boost and increased accuracy. So I do think the Excadrill is like the more threatening mon. And if I had to choose between like Shadow Sneak, the Excadrill, and try to KO the Mesprit, I'm leaning towards Shadow Sneaking the Excadrill. The problem with that is now the Savali is kind of not doing anything. So like maybe you can't really do that just because the Savali, unless it has a useful final move against Mesprit or just something else to do, it's like not doing as much here, which is kind of the problem. But maybe these mons are just physically tanky enough where like, hey, maybe you can just say, I can eat these moves. I'll just trade some damage for each other and be along my day. But again, I expect maybe some grass or electric type coverage. Probably grass is probably better in general if it had like energy ball to hit like the Golurk and the Primarina, or maybe electric type. I would expect some type of coverage to hit Golurk here, so that's just something I'm gonna be worried about. We're just gonna click Earthquake, so it's not gonna be Shadow Sneak, and that is a crit, and that is ooh. I don't know Golurk's bulk off the top of my head. I do know Excadrill is a very powerful mon. But I want to say that matters because you do get a power decrease for using a spread move like that. I will check that out afterwards. But yeah, that is, if that does matter, that's kind of stings. And that means the Psychic is just going to go into the Savali, and that is just going to be a double KO. And man, you can just see just how very, very slight changes in the play can make such a difference here. I'm assuming the Moetta's last move, he is Hyper Voice, and that is it. And I will, assuming it is that, it could possibly be Psychic. I don't see how it's ever Psychic actually. I'll say it's Hyper Voice. If you just Hyper Voice the Excadrill, this Excadrill is gone, and this is not a problem that you have to deal with. But like just a little bit of greed has done so much damage, and now you're down 6-3. That's rough. That's really rough. And let's see. And for the Lopunny, you're still the fully healthy Alakazam in the back. And for the Volcanion, there's still the Excadrill +1 attack in a sand in the back, anyway, on the field. And there's still Garchomp. And the Primarina's not in a terrible spot, but like you're down so many resources. I'm expecting Lopunny, Primarina here. I think those are your two better mons here in a spot like this. Yeah, this is Lopunny, Primarina, but in a spot like this, what's just stopping a double protect? Just say, whatever, you can try to do fake out pressure on me all you want. I don't care. I'll just double protect, move on to the next turn. Next turn, like, Earthquake Psychic. Earthquake something. And you can't switch in the Volcanion into an Earthquake, so it's just like, for the Lopunny. And Light Screen's gonna run out this turn. Like, I just don't see how you do it. Like, double protect is, like, kind of free here, I'd say. Maybe, okay. Maybe the way to play around that is, like, okay, you double for the light screen turn, for the fake out turn, the take two Tyranitars double protect, then the Spiritomb Raiders in return double protect the last turn to Sandstorm, and then the Exeggutor is no longer in Sand anymore, and now the Exeggutor is not the fastest mon in the field anymore. And then you have to do like a switch in or something like that for the Tyranitar Exeggutor. So like maybe it's something like that that could I can help you, because like I said about the dynamic speed tier. So maybe there's a way out of here. We're gonna see I'm assuming we're not even seeing a double protect. Maybe the Besprit doesn't have protect, or maybe this is just a read. And Primarina also has Shadow Ball here. Interesting. 37%. You're at a point where any damage is good damage. You're at it's just that if you're just trading health for health, being up 6-3, like even if you took a lot more damage than you dealt, like this is still like not a bad turn for you at all. I still think I would rather see double protect if that is possible for the Mesprit. I can't tell you the set, but yeah. I think in order to start getting your way back into this game, I think you double protect with both these mons to make sure the Sandstorm is gone, so your Lopunny can start doing things, I think. And the Primarina can be in a much safer spot with the Exeggutor being threatened here. Oh, well, did we just see a berry? No, the light screen wore off. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I think it's just a pretty easy double protect. You could go for something crazy. I mean, you could go for something crazy here if you want to try to punish double protect. These mons might not both be one or multiple of these mons might not even have protect. It's definitely possible, but like, I don't know. I don't really think you're in a spot where you need to do that, because you can. I would say you can let both these mons die truthfully, like even the Mesprit and the Excadrill. You can just send out Alakazam for the Lopunny and like something for the Tyranitar. I mean, something for the Primarina. I mean, you don't even need anything for the Primarina because Alakazam is fairly specially bulky. Still not that bulky because, you know, its HP stats garbage. But just something to, some sort of, maybe Garchomp because it's a strong fit. Well, you can't really do that because I speak. But like, her Stoutland's not bad. Like, physical damage that's consistent. Stoutland's fairly bulky. Can maybe threaten to 2-8 KO on double return or something like that. But yeah, I expect a double protect here if possible. And no, we're not seeing it protect. We're just seeing Earthquake go down. And yeah, that Lopunny is dead. Maybe not having protect, or maybe not just seeing the potential line of just trying to start the last turn of Sandstorm. And this is just going to be a double KO. And are we going to see a 6-0 in the playoffs? Oh my goodness. We very well could be. Mesprit is these mons are probably both faster than Volcanion, I will say. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna, this is looks like a potential 6-0. And it is. And oh my goodness. Yeah. That was not good. That is, dang. I don't even know what to say. Take two Tyranitars. I felt like they played this well. I really do think again, I'll check the crit matters in a minute off the screen, and maybe I'll record something with that or put a little annotation about it. But yeah, this is just a tale of, again, I am assuming Meletta had Hyper Voice. We're like very, very, very small plays. Just do terrible, terrible things to you over time. This Excadrill, I mean, I don't know, would it get like 4 KOs maybe? But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. The Take Two Tyranitars are now going to have to face the, oh my gosh, the Manly Manetrix. The Manly Manetrix, I will say, do have what looks like a really good team matchup against them, and the Manly Manetrix did beat them fairly handily. The fact that he has ability to just pivot so easily in and out, with multiple Intimidate users, and a Politoed to set weather, and Politoed's obviously threatening against this team in general. You know, water hits Tyranitar, water hits Excadrill, ice coverage blows up Garchomp. Like, there's no water resist on these 6 months, as you can see. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me, and I'll see you guys in the semifinals. Bye.